The biggest risk to your future isn't your competition. It's the distractions you insist on keeping in your life rather than doing the things you know you should be doing but aren't. People delay doing things they don't like for longer than it takes to do them. So, the big picture goals are going to be hard for you to get to. But if you just think 1 year ahead, what do I want over the next 12 months? I think that usually helps you. And maybe you want to be in a relationship. I want to be in a committed relationship with someone who really loves me. Okay? Now we can start to talk about a plan to do that. But you need to have a little bit of silence. It's like a problem with permanently being busy stops you from being able to listen to fleeting thoughts that are in the back of your mind. Mm-hmm. And that quiet voice is usually the really powerful one. But the answers you seek are in the silence you're avoiding. There's this wonderful idea of the deferred life hypothesis. Deferred life hypothesis is basically the sort of common belief that our life hasn't yet begun. That what's happening now is a sort of prelude, it's an intro to our life truly beginning. And upon reflection, what a lot of people realize is that this prelude that they run through was a mirage that sort of faded as they approached. And they were actually just running toward the end of their life. Like they're permanently putting things off. I get it. People have got realistic, structural, monetary requirements. They've got to get up, they've got to go to work, they've got to fucking change their nappy, they've got to walk the dog, they've got things that they need to do. That's not what I'm talking about. My point is, everybody thinks, a lot of people think, in one form or another, that my life will begin when. They're holding their happiness hostage. They're in a holding pattern, like a plane that can't land for some reason. It's like, what if that never changes? What if your problems in life are never ever going to go away? What if problems are always going to be there? What then? Oh wow, well, I'm never going to arrive. That means I need to start living now. And I think for me, there's definitely a lot of, I will get there when, once the tasks of today are completed, once the problems are gotten through. There'll never be a time when there's no problems in life. Problems are a feature, not a bug. It doesn't make sense to continue wanting something if you're not willing to do what it takes to get it. If you don't want to live the lifestyle, then release yourself from the desire. To crave the result, but not the process, is to guarantee disappointment. Success really just boils down to this. You gotta want it more than you hate what it takes to get it. If you're willing to suck at anything for 100 days in a row, you can beat most people at most things. You know, you don't understand how hard it must be easy for you or whatever. No, fuck off, bro. Everybody's got challenges. Everybody's got things that they're struggling with. Man up.
Yeah.
Fucking man up. The world is as easy and convenient as it's ever going to be, and you're complaining about the fact that, oh, the existential weight of fucking living. Everybody's got that. Everybody has to face this stuff. So
I don't think there's enough people saying man up.
Yeah, and I don't mean ignore your emotions. I mean fucking integrate your emotions.
Yeah.
Talk about them. Manning up also includes being mature about your emotions. It means crying in front of your friends and being vulnerable and open. This isn't like some ancient archetype of patriarchal toxic masculinity. This is me saying fucking transcend and include your masculinity. Transcend and include the challenges that you've been through. You don't have to feel good about it. You just have to keep going. The feeling will pass, but you will remain. You are greater than your feelings. Going to bed late and waking up early to work for a few days won't kill you. You're not going to burn out. You're doing what it takes. If you're one of those people that push work-life balance, just remember, the people who like working a lot don't care. I've never regretted trying harder at anything ever. Hard times last long, but an epic story feels like a lifetime. Going back to the work thing, another one from you that I absolutely adore, it just takes work. Shitloads and shitloads of work. Every time I try and dress it up or cut a corner, I get brutally reminded the work just needs doing. The work doesn't care who you are, it just cares that it gets done. A friendly reminder that in 3 generations, everyone who knew us will be dead, including the people whose opinions stopped you from doing what you wanted all along. Imagine that someone you know achieves every dream and hits every goal they have. Years later, they get old and die. 2 years after that, how much do you care? About as much as everyone else will if you accomplish your goals and dreams. Do it for you. If you want to be exceptional, you're going to be different from everyone else. That's what makes you exceptional. You can't fit in and also be exceptional. Both have discomfort. When you fit in, you have internal conflict because you're not being 100% you. When you're exceptional, you have external conflict because everyone sees you as different. Pick one. When your friends start to say, you've changed, remember it's because they don't know how to say, you've grown. Instead of spending time getting in the mood to work, just start working. Confront the work. People think they need perfect conditions to start, when in reality, starting is the perfect condition. When you do something that you don't want to do, and you strengthen the connections in it by doing things that you don't want to do, especially when you really don't want to do them. So you're hypertrophying. It's this exact sort of intuition that you've got that some people would call it resilience or willpower or whatever, but this is neurologically represented in the brain. These connections get stronger. So I think it's so funny. gym bros will need a gym analogy in order to be able to believe that their brain changes. But it's really useful to think, hey, you're hypertrophying this area of your brain. Yeah. I snapped an Achilles. I had to do a very particular series of rehab movements in order to grow it back. This is just the same. I know of no better life purpose than to perish in attempting the great and impossible. The fact that something seems impossible shouldn't be a reason to not pursue it. That's exactly what makes it worth pursuing. Where would the courage and greatness be if success was certain and there was no risk? The only true failure is shrinking away from life's challenges. Imagine that you're in a movie, and imagine the movie begins now, and you're the hero of the movie.
Yeah.
What would that guy do?
Yeah.
What would that guy do right now?
Yeah.
Because you are. If your life was a movie, what would the key scenes be? I think that's important when you're looking backward. But a much better one, if your life was a movie and people were watching up to this point, what would the audience be screaming at the screen, telling you to do with your life? What would they be it's fucking obvious. Leave the job. Leave the, get like, it's your brother. It's the fucking killer's hiding in the cupboard, whatever it might be. What would the audience watching the movie of your life be screaming at the screen, telling you to do? And I think it's a very orthogonal way to look at, I already know the answer of what I should be doing. I'm just scared of making the commitment and having the conversation. Whenever I get to a low point where I think, why do I even bother? I just remind myself, this is where most people stop, and this is why they don't win. And this relates to another one, which is a reminder for the gladiators in the arena who feel beat up and scarred with no hope in sight. Building a business is hard. Hard feels shitty. This is what hard feels like. And this is why most people can't do it, but you can. This is your opportunity to change anything behaviorally. You can change anything you want. Not everything you want, right? That's the problem. You can become anything you want behaviorally, but you can't be everything you want. So you need to pick a small number. The single best question to work out what you should be doing next year. What would have to happen by the end of 2026 for me to look back on 2026 and consider it a success? I think that really helps to just give you a bit more perspective. And it usually comes down to only a few things. You don't usually have so much in your mind when you do that. Setting the bar unrealistically high does not increase your performance. Imagine this. Imagine that you went into a buffet and you made your plate as big as possible. You said, I want all of these things. I'm going to put all of this stuff on my plate. And my stomach is going to expand to be able to fit it. That's not the way that our stomachs work. And that is not the way that our workloads work. So, first rule, in order to pick something up, you have to put something down. Don't assume that just because you've loaded more onto your workload plate, your work capacity will expand to be able to fit it into your stomach. Like, that's not the way that it works. Make the assumption, I can do no more than I'm doing now. I can switch stuff, but I can't add more in. Maybe you can, maybe you're gonna be able to squeeze your phone time, maybe you're gonna be able to become more efficient, more productive, whatever. But it's safer to just assume this is the pie that I'm playing with, and in order to pick something up, I have to put something down. So that's a really important thing, because at the moment, it's December 29th. I'm full of gusto and motivation, and I can't wait, I'm gonna crush it. And yeah, for the first week, maybe you've got that. But if you're using motivation and enthusiasm to work yourself through your goals are predicated largely on a fuel source that you don't have control over. You don't have a massive amount of control over your motivation over a long amount of time. Like, it comes and then it goes. You want something that's a little bit more rigid. So in order to pick something up, you have to put something down. The whole universe is change, and life itself is but what we deem it. Mm-hmm. Life itself is but what we deem it. The 8 most profound words in all of philosophy. Mm-hmm. What he means is that things are going to happen. You are going to have experiences in life. Almost all of the important impacts of how those experiences change you are going to be the story that you tell yourself about what that experience means. The Lonely chapter describes a time in which you're growing, you're changing as a person, and you're now so different that you can no longer resonate with your old set of friends, but you're not sufficiently developed that you've got the new set of friends that you're going to grow into. And this is the Lonely chapter. And the problem with it is that you're always, the desire to sort of regress back to where you were is always going to be there. And you're going to have uncertainty. There's not even the promise of glory or success or triumph when you get through the other side. What am I pushing toward? You know, you're telling me that I'm not going to go out on this night out with my friends, which I've done for the last 5 years or 10 years in the town that I grew up in or went to university in or whatever. You're telling me that I'm not going to do that because I'm going to get up and I'm going to meditate or read? Who even knows if meditation works, right? Like, or you've got all of these questions in your mind, and all of your friends and all of the dynamics and the temptations pull you back toward that. It pulls you back toward the old version of life. There is a period in everybody's journey where they are so different because they've started to do new things that they no longer fit in with their old set of friends, but they're not sufficiently developed that they've gained their new set of friends, and they're unsure. Should I go back? Should I lean back into getting a bag in with the boys on a weekend? Is that the highest, way that I can live my life passion forward? Because that's what everybody else does. When all of my friends are taking the piss, oh, not drinking again. Too good for us, are we? Not going out again this week. Oh, okay, well, enjoy staying in home and reading, fucking nerd. So you're going to feel the pain of being ostracized from the group of friends that you used to have, but you're stuck in this messy middle where you haven't yet worked out who you are on the other side of this. And that lonely chapter that's in the middle is something that I would say almost nobody that I've ever met who has gone from a place where they are to a place where they want to be hasn't gone through. Unfortunately, you can't take somebody else's purpose or success. That's you can't wear it as a suit. It's a bad idea, right? Because it's going to not fit. And wonderful line, let go or be dragged. If something doesn't fit, eventually it's going to hurt wearing it. And that means if you're not careful with how you design what it is that you chase after, you can spend your entire life realizing that you climbed a huge fucking ladder, a very, very long ladder that was leaning up against the wrong wall. And you need to ensure that you don't do that. And this is why we need to just sit with ourselves, sit with a little bit of reflection. Every single person that I know that is incredibly successful in a balanced way and has a good perspective on it elects to do very hard things regularly. It humbles them, it reminds them that they're just mortal, and it also means that if the entire mainstream media apparatus tries to come down on top of you, let's say, just as a hypothetical, let's say that occurs, that you can deal with it because you know that you've dealt with 1,000 disgusting kettlebell workouts followed by a cold tub or whatever. Right. And then the performance without a purpose thing is from David's new book as well. And I found that very interesting because a lot of the time people need an excuse to perform. They need a race to be working toward, a goal, a holiday, a photo shoot, a wedding. Right. And that is what drives them forward. And, that's not nothing. That's an incredibly powerful, potent motivator. Yeah. You can believe you're not worthy of a thing and still attain it. You can be adamant that your efforts are going to go badly and still succeed. You can grip and grasp and fear and it ruin the enjoyment and be totally unwarranted and things still go well. You can have no self-belief and show up anyway. You can want more for yourself without knowing exactly what that looks like. You can doubt the process, question your talent, be uncertain that you're making progress, disparage your accomplishments, permanently feel like you're not working hard enough no matter how hard you work, never give yourself a break, fail to fully feel gratitude, be terrified of never reaching your goals, and still end up in a place that your 20-year-old self could not imagine you'd ever get to. Self-belief is overrated. Generate evidence, says Ryan Holiday. You could imagine that you are... Yesterday, me and you had to carry a 72-pound rock up a 1.5-mile hill that's got 1,000 feet of ascension. Right. The way that I felt after doing that first leg up a very steep incline was painful but satisfying. I knew why I felt that way, right? The story that I told myself about why my heart rate was at 140, 150, and my shoulders were burning and I was sweating and all of this stuff was because of what I'd done. If I felt that spontaneously sat in a car in traffic, I would call an ambulance. Right. I think, what the fuck is happening to me? I'm definitely having a panic attack or a heart attack or something. So the story that you tell yourself, in some regard, very much is what's happening. Right. The framing that you place around the present moment largely determines your experience of it. And this is where having faith in yourself, having confidence in yourself, an undeniable stack of proof that you can deal with whatever is put in front of you is super important. So 6 lessons about problems and stress. Number 1, problems are a feature of life, not a bug. There will never come a time when you have no problems. What did you think you were going to wake up one day and there be no more problems, like completing a video game level and going to a map where there's nothing there? Right? Things are always going to incur problems. Your problems will change, but having problems is going nowhere. Number 2, whatever negativity is consuming your thoughts probably won't matter in 3 months' time. Like in 3 months, you won't remember the corrosive texture of your own mind or the boring, repetitive things that you thought or maybe even what you worried about. I think What were you worrying about 3 months ago, right now? Probably can't remember. But all of the time that you spent worrying will have passed. So you're sacrificing your joy and your presence in the moment for a problem that you won't even be able to recall in the future. So immortality would kind of be the only life where so much flippancy with the time that we have would be acceptable. Learning comes from the edges. Number 3, change is uncomfortable and it rarely occurs without a lot of stress.
Learning comes from the edges?
From the edges,
What does that mean?
Proximate zone of development.
What does that mean?
You pushing yourself just beyond what you're comfortable with. And sometimes this can be emotional pain too. Leaving the job happens when you get pushed out of region beta on the bottom end, or growth happens when you overextend yourself the right amount, not so much that you get injured, but so much that you're challenged, that this is a new zone for you to get into. I'm clawing up, wow, and it expands your potential, your idea of what you're able to do, and it's like, it pushes you so that your system becomes more resilient on the other side. Many of the periods of radical, important change that you have had in your life have only occurred because of severe challenges you faced. Like, look back, almost all of the big periods of growth in your life have germinated from your lowest points. In retrospect, would you have avoided them if you could? Probably not. So yeah, this challenge is a gift. You can lean into discomfort as if you invited it through the door. It's like, oh, there we are. Hello, it's good to see you. Well, it doesn't change your worth as a person, you know? You want to do this because you think that it's good for you, because you believe that it's good for you, because you care about yourself. You care about Stephen and his body and his mind. You want him to have a long and healthy life, and the same for everybody else that's listening. They want to have good outcomes from the things that they do in life. You don't need to lambast yourself because you don't do a thing that is perfectly designed to make you feel good. Okay, like you missed 3 days in a row. We get back on the horse, we go again. Preparing to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Scheduling time to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Making a to-do list for the thing isn't doing the thing. Telling people you're going to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Messaging friends who may or may not be doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Writing a banger tweet about how you're going to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on yourself for not doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on other people who have done the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on the obstacles in the way of you doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Fantasizing about all of the adoration you'll receive once you do the thing isn't doing the thing. Reading about how to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Reading about how other people did the thing isn't doing the thing. Reading this essay isn't doing the thing. The only thing that is doing the thing is doing the thing. Because if you do a thing in spite of being scared of doing the thing, that is bravery, right? There's no such thing as fake bravery. Like if you do the thing and you're scared, that's bravery. If you don't do the thing and you weren't scared, that's not bravery, right? The same thing goes for discipline. Doing the thing in spite of not wanting to do the thing is discipline, right? You don't need motivation to get yourself up to go and do a thing. Make the promise small, build it up step by step. Know that you are going to have setbacks, and this is my favorite rule from James Clear, which is a habit missed once is a mistake. A habit missed twice is the start of a new habit. Never miss 2 days in a row. So ideally, go for a month, build it up. But after that, if you ever miss one day, go, okay, mistakes are going to happen. Tomorrow I double down. Tomorrow I go on time, absolutely perfect. I'm straight up out of bed, or I go to the gym, or I walk the dog, or I do my meditation or whatever. And that's a good heuristic. Stops errors snowballing into new habits.
When we talk about metrics of success, you talk about observable metrics and hidden metrics of success?
Yeah, so a lot of the time we'll trade a hidden metric for an observable metric. Something that's observable would be your job title, what your salary is per year, how many people know you, your bank balance, the size of your house, the car that you drive.
Things people can see.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
The only way that your success can be judged is outwardly. So naturally, we trade something which people can't see for something that they can see. For instance, lots of people would trade a longer commute for a higher salary or a better job title. One of the problems that you encounter with that is that the length of your commute is one of the most correlated stats with your happiness. Longer commutes reliably make people more miserable. And what's the hidden metric that you've lost by doing that? Well, that's less time with your family, with maybe your kids that are growing up, with your wife to connect. That's less time to pursue your own passions, even if your job is your passion. So what about a more stressful career? Going to move into a different industry that's way more stressful, but it pays more. Observable metric. What's the hidden metric? What about the peace of mind that you have as you go to sleep at night? What about what that does to your health and the quality of your relationships and your ability to be present on a weekend. So you're not able to turn your phone off because your last job was 9 to 5, but this one is 24/7. Well, it's difficult to say because people want and need real resources. I want to improve the quality of my family. That's a noble thing to do. But after a while, you have to admit, if you already live a comfortable quality of life and you trade it, you trade your happiness or your peace in order to get more, you're making a bad choice because you're going to sacrifice something that you want, which is happiness, peace, connection, for something that's supposed to get the thing that you want, which is money, job title, bigger car.
If your definition of success is win or lose, giving everything you've got and growing or learning along the way, then you're setting yourself up for success. I really think the biggest cheat code in life is just going after it and not being concerned of whether or not you fail at one specific task. Instead, understanding the big picture, what your long-term goal is, and knowing if you keep driving forward and never fucking quit, in the end you will succeed. Don't aim for mediocre. 99% of people in the world are convinced that they're incapable of achieving great things, so they aim for the mediocre. The level of competition is thus fiercest for realistic goals, paradoxically making them the most time and energy consuming. If you are insecure, guess what? The rest of the world is too. Do not overestimate the competition and underestimate yourself. You are better than you think. I love that. Do not overestimate the competition and underestimate yourself. Think if you're the sort of person who is regularly surprised by how well things go, that's maybe a good indication that could be about you. And basically, I think I'm certain that most capable people don't believe in themselves enough. And a lack of confidence killed more dreams than a lack of competence ever did. I think type A people have a type B problem, and type B people have a type A problem. Insecure overachievers need to learn how to chill out and relax, and lazy people need to learn how to work harder and be disciplined.
There's a wonderful idea called productivity dysmorphia. So it's the inability to see your own success. It's like to acknowledge the volume of your own output. So it sits at the intersection of burnout, imposter syndrome, and anxiety. You think of it like ambition's alter ego, basically. Like the pursuit of productivity spurs us to do more, while robbing us of the ability to savor any of the successes that we achieve along the way. So first off, people are not particularly good judges of how productive they are. I think so many people are whipping themselves into submission, saying you're not doing enough because in the past that motivated them to do more.
Yeah.
And after a while, you have to accept, I'm doing quite a lot. And if you were an athlete on a sports team and your coach only ever pointed at you when you made a bad play, you wouldn't feel particularly motivated by that. But a lot of people have this sense of productivity debt. They wake up every day feeling as if they're already behind. And only if they dominate their entire day perfectly can they drag themselves back up to some minimum level of acceptable output. And only then can they go to sleep that night without feeling like a loser. This means that your set point is loss, and the best thing that you can do if you crush the day is get to a draw. You never win. And then there's this sort of weird drill sergeant in the back of your mind that's saying, all right, you can have a little bit of a break now, but just so you know, as soon as you wake up in the morning, it's all going to happen again.
Everybody wants to hear the 0 to 1, not the 50 to 55 or 80 to 85 or 95 to 96. Yeah. They don't want to hear about the top end stuff because it sounds more exclusionary, right? Because by definition, most people are on the come up as opposed to closer to the top. But I think it's important to give people an idea of what are the pitfalls that are coming up for you. If you do what you say that you want to achieve, which is become better in whatever it is that you want, even becoming better as a parent, becoming better as a dog owner, becoming better as a friend or whatever, as you become more advanced, there will be fewer and fewer people that can give you advice about what you're going to come up against. No matter how good I get at this thing, I will always have to do boring shit. And that's not a bug, it's a feature. And not only is it a feature, it's a source of competitive advantage. Because as things get more salubrious, as you raise up through the ranks, other people will have the same thought that you do, which is, I shouldn't need to do this shit anymore. You go, okay, so if you can continue to lean into the stuff that you did at the start, at the end, that's where the competitive advantage lies.
When the natural road toward human fulfillment is blocked, human beings retreat into themselves, become involved in themselves, and try to create inwardly that world which some evil fate has denied them externally. If you cannot obtain from the world that which you really desire, you must teach yourself not to want it. If you cannot get what you want, you must teach yourself to want what you can get. This is a very frequent form of spiritual retreat in depth into a kind of inner citadel in which you lock yourself up against all of the fearful ills of the world.